Welcome back to another episode of the No Comfort Zone. I will see you on the inside.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
Hey, welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend. Hopefully you had an eventful weekend. And if not, hopefully you're able just to relax a little bit and get caught up on being good to yourself. You know, just recently, one of the people that I have the fortunate experience to talk with on a regular basis said something. They're kind of going through a down period in their life. And I think every now and again, don't you just go through that? You go through a blah stage. You know, you go through that stage where it's kind of gray outside. And that can happen, especially in the fall. It gets a little rainy, a little cold. The weather changes. And next thing you know, you just find yourself kind of in a little bit of a slump. And if you don't pay attention to it, it can sneak up on you. You got to kind of acknowledge the fact that you do need to kind of slow things down a little bit. You need to take a deep breath in, and you need to look at how things are for what they are. Things aren't always going to be great, but if you're not paying attention, then all of a sudden you can get overwhelmed with a lot of negativity. And it really does depend on where you put your focus at. So one of the biggest things that I learned this week was that the one person that I was talking to said something, and it was pretty profound. I said, so how are you going to get yourself out of it? And they had said, I'm just going to try to be kind to myself. Man, how profound was that? You, the listener out there, wherever you pick up this podcast, a lot of the guys that listen to this are in automotive retail sales. And I want to ask you this, or it doesn't matter what you do. You know, you don't have to do anything really. But if you're listening to this podcast, I want to ask you a question and hit me back up. Hit me up, Dan at the No Comfort Zone, Dan at the NoComfortZone.com. What do you do? What do you do to be kind to yourself? I thought about that. And, you know, as the day went on, I kept thinking about that over and over again. What do I do? What do I really do for myself when that moment comes, when I feel a little down, when I want to take a break, when I know I've earned a break, when I know that I've accomplished some goals and I'm still pushing myself and I kind of lose my purpose along the way? What can I do? What can you do to be kind to yourself? What a profound thing. I mean, just think about that. If you just were good to yourself for a minute or a moment, what does that look like for you? What do you need to do? And one of the books I was listening to about wealth and wealth management and acquiring wealth, it's you have to take a portion of your income, whatever percentage that is, and you have to sock it away for you. And whatever that means, it's your millionaire fund. Like you put money aside and for one day you blow it. You go order the most expensive bottle of wine that you can afford. You have the most expensive meal that you can. And this might be ridiculous from what you're normally used to, but I think every now and again, I think you need to do that. You need to just kind of sit back and realize, you know what, I'm worth it and I'm going to do it. Which brings me to my next thing. One of the things that I do when I get to this point where I'm kind of feeling a little down or feeling, I guess, uninspired, or when I'm not living in my purpose, I put myself into a no comfort zone. So I knew I would find a way to get this out to you. Listen, I'm documenting my journey in the no comfort zone in my Facebook page. Go to, hit me up, Dan at the NoComfortZone.com, or I'll try to put a link in here where I can give you permission to come into the group and you can kind of see what I'm going through and you could watch. It's pretty interesting because the way that I find value in me or how I'm kind to myself is by challenging myself and getting myself into these kind of uncomfortable positions, whether it's working out, eating, just these disciplines that I believe a lot of successful people have that I just don't have. So you see, I know a lot of successful people. I know a lot of successful people who are very happy in their relationships, who are monetarily, financially free, who have good people around them, have good family around them, and are healthy. And their challenges are very minor in life. They're just happy people, happy, go lucky. Everything's good. They work hard. They get up. They do the right things. They're just good people. I know a lot of people like this. That's not me. That's just not me. And if you're listening to this podcast, maybe it's not you either. Maybe you're that person that has to work a little extra hard. Maybe you're that, you got that, hamster cage in your head, and you're constantly having all these thoughts, and you're constantly spinning around, and you're jumping from one thing to the next. So you have to really, really focus on your disciplines. You have to really focus on you, and you really have to focus on the goals and the directions you want to go in your life. See, people misunderstand when I talk about the no comfort zone, that it's one of these things that's absolutely horrible, that truly horrible. And when you think about where you were at in your life and where you're going, you really, it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be horrible. You don't have to grind it out. I do this to prepare myself, because when shit hits the fan, as it has hit the fan for me, I want to be prepared again. I don't know about you, but, dealing with financial loss of family, loss of home, any credibility whatsoever, when you lose everything, it's a really tough place to get back to where you start to trust again, or you feel good, or you feel you can actually do anything good for yourself. And then slowly, like my sponsor told me in Alcoholics Anonymous, he said, Dan, if you're thinking about everything's going to come back right away, the relationships, the kids, the money, all the problems are going to go away just because you decided to change your life around. It doesn't work that way. 10 years in, baby, 10 years out. So you've been working on this for 10 years, 20 years in my case. It's going to take 20 years to get it all back. And now I'll say this, when you work hard and you work diligent and you have a plan, it doesn't take that long. It truly doesn't. But you do have to change who you are, and you do have to change the places where you go. And I did all that. I changed everything about me. And I'm grateful for the person that I've turned into. I have a lot of gratitude for the challenges that I faced in my life. And that's what I want to do, is help you to identify those adverse moments in your life and realize how truly wonderful that opportunity was, because those were God given to you. Now, when I talk about adversity, I'm talking about of your own doing. I'm talking about situations that you may have gotten yourself into. You might not be able to see your kids right now. You might not be in a relationship anymore. You might not have access to money. You might not be, have a place to call your own. Whatever, you might not have a car. You might not have a job. I don't know. Whatever's true for you, whatever reality you're in. But if you're listening to this podcast, I'm telling you, there is a lesson there. There is a lesson about gratitude. There's a lesson about will, desire. Can you get back up? Can you go for it? And I'll start with this, as I started on this podcast. I'll close on this. After all that, after all the challenges that you face, after everywhere that you go and everything that you do, just want to ask you a really simple question. At the end of the day, when you put your head on the pillow and you worked your heart out and you're tired, can you be good to yourself? Can you honestly look at yourself and go, you know what? I did the best I could today. I did the best I could, and I'm okay, and I'm going to accept those results that I've earned. It might not be where I want to be, but I did the best I could. And that's really what this is all about, isn't it? The no comfort zone is all just getting to that potential. You know what? Everyone might say that your potential is, let's say, a 3, but you know what? You got to push to a 4. Something just tells me you might be a 3.7, you might be a 3.8. And it's in that moment when you realize that you've gone from a 3 to a 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, and so on, when you get to that point and you realize, wow, I really did push myself and it was worth it. And you can put your head on the pillow and realize, you know what? Today, I was good to myself, because today is the day that I got out of my comfort zone and I lived on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.